Regina. It's a big strongman gym. Lots of
Regina,
Saskatchewan.
Wait, what's going on, bro?
I don't know. I don't know, dude. Just
it doesn't mean clean.
Queen.
Oh, queen.
I don't know. I'm just saying my 3rd-year-old self was laughing pretty good.
Third-year-old self.
Third grade. Sorry, I'm too busy staring at our wall painting.
Done learning. Well, we moved to a much better place.
I'm having a psychology test.
What do you see? I just see vaginas, honestly.
I think it's pelvic floor muscles.
Yeah, on a bunch, and then of like a vertebrae somewhere.
Yeah. Top down.
Maybe some kind of
spine.
And then someone just says, that's actually art. That's not anatomy. I was at the AGO, the Art Gallery of Ontario, and they had an abstract 2 artist. And some of the abstract paintings, I'm down with it, but some of them I'm like, come on. There was one where it was just perfectly white and then a black circle offset to the right, and that was it.
Yeah, I think I've seen something like that.
I'm like, oh, come on, man. This is brutal. This isn't art.
This is subjective, though, right?
Yeah.
Art is subjective.
But I'll put it this way. What if, Bryce, for you, it's like, all right, art's subjective. We agree. Everyone has their own choice in movies. But if you pick, let's name a terrible movie. What's a bad movie? The universally the people hate on.
Any Nick Cage movie?
So like,
except 60
The Wicker
seconds.
Man.
Except for Gone for 60 seconds.
The Wicker Man remake. If you're like, that's the greatest movie of all time.
There's some of my favorite Nick Cage scenes of all time.
Yeah, that movie is so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, I actually thought Nick Cage was solid in his roles in the 80s and the 90s. Like, you've seen Moonstruck?
I don't think I have.
Greatest romantic comedy of all time.
Getting laughed out of here right now.
Cher's in it.
Are you a rom-com guy?
No, it's because my mom watches. She actually doesn't watch a lot of romantic comedies, but that was on one day, and I was just like chilling with her, and it was just a good story. You know, I'm like, this is interesting.
I kind of like rom-coms.
I'll check it out next time I sleep in an airport.
Well, next time you're in Toronto, buddy, which will be coming up, we'll watch Moonstruck.
All right, let's it's a date then.
I'm not even playing. We're like, oh, what do you want to watch? You want to watch like Wayne's World? You want to watch like Inglourious Bastards? You want to watch?
That's a good movie.
No, I want to watch Moonstruck.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, well, that's exactly how you get them in.
Yeah.
You intrigue them a little bit first.
It's all in the intrigue.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mama's Boys Podcast, the absolute worst podcast on the entire freaking planet.
Really selling it there.
Yeah, I would say we like to undersell.
The best is worst.
Undersell, over deliver. It's a classic
Thank
strategy.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say we are the world's best worst podcast, right? And just quickly before we begin with today's guest, Calgary Barbell, aka Bryce Krawczyk, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, our lovely sponsor, Kaizen Training. Kaizen Training was started. Wow, who are those people? Started myself, Sam, Mike, and Bart Kwan. If your goals are to lose weight, build muscle, or get stronger, we got you. Kaizen Training. That's KIZEN training.com.
And for anyone not from Canada, that's ZEN.
Well, let's start the debate right now. Bryce, lovely to have you. How do you say Z? Is it Z or Z?
Yeah, but you're asking a Canadian. I'm not saying it's wrong or bad.
Like when I was taught the alphabet as a young lad, I'm pretty sure it was X, Y, and Z.
Thank you. Thank you. Correct answer.
Honestly, and maybe this is because I'm ignorant.
X, Y, and Z. Why can't I remember now? I don't know.
You said Z. No, it's good.
You guys got me upside down.
So we say X, Y, Z when your fly's down.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I don't say Z. I don't say X, Y, Z.
I
would say Z.
I don't look at another man's crotch area.
Oh.
Why am I looking at whether his zipper's down or up?
I had to tell a university professor one time that her fly was down.
Oh, awkward.
And I was that guy. I did it. Yeah. Like if you got shit on your face, I'm going to tell you.
That's good.
You know,
I respect it.
You can't be that guy.
Why is Nigel ruining our podcast?
By the way, you've been up in front of the class for the last hour and a half, like just discreetly afterwards, with your fly down.
This will tell me a lot about you. Where did you sit in that university lecture? There's only one right answer.
Somewhere right near the middle.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you got?
You don't go. I'm joking.
I'd probably be in the back.
It was a pretty small program. So I think there were like 36 of us when we started and like 15 when we finished. So it was a super tight-knit group and we knew all the professors. It wasn't like those typical university classes with like 100 people in a lecture hall.
So it didn't really matter where you sat.
No,
because everybody, yeah.
But Bryce, you said 36 went in, 15 went out. What was the lecture called? Like the Hunger Games?
Yeah, murder.
Like,
yeah, no, a lot of people disappeared that year.
Mysterious circumstances. What were you in school for?
That was when I took my X-Files.
Yeah.
That was when I took my personal.
That was Katniss. That was Katniss. Hunger Games.
Oh, see, I'm hearing X-Files in my head.
I totally heard X-Files.
Yeah, that was a Mockingjay. Was there a sign?
Man, you're... Nah,
Free the people.
Bryce is on a roll with like what you went to school for. Go on.
Yeah, so I did a 2-year personal fitness trainer diploma program, which was essentially a condensed, boiled down kinesiology program.
Okay.
So a lot of the anatomy, physiology, a lot more hands-on and a lot more directed towards people who want to be coaching and training for a living. But the anatomy and physiology weeded a lot of people out.
Oh, really?
They just weren't.
And you're
into
talking
it.
training, because I don't know if it's similar in Canada or not. I went to a bunch of training programs in college, and that was more a trainer per se, even though on the internet we just say trainer. Trainer per se here for occupation would probably be like wrap knees, almost like a level before a PT. It'd be like sit on the sideline during a game, wrap ankles, ice knees, prep, stretch out. Are you talking that, or are you talking like weight room?
I'm talking more weight room.
Strength and conditioning.
Yeah, more strength and conditioning type stuff.
So you know
more
NASM.
personal trainer kind of thing.
You know, like NASM or something.
So in Canada it is the
Can't Fit Pro?
CSEP.
But you basically
equivalent.
did that.
Yeah,
is what we're
Canadian
getting at.
Society for Exercise
Gotcha.
and Physiology.
Yeah.
So I'm a certified personal trainer.
Oh.
A CPT.
CPT.
CSEP CPT.
You put that in the Instagram profile. CPT.
Yeah. You could if you wanted. I don't
So
know
if
if
you
I'm
ever-
there or not.
If you
Mine's
ever apply
definitely
Bryce to a Good Life, they'll take a look at that and be like,
Yeah, it is the gold standard in
It's
Canada.
the gold standard.
Yeah, so it is like NASM then.
Yeah, it'd be very similar.
Yeah.
But Bryce, what motivated you to enter the world's worst industry to work in?
I don't know. I guess I just got interested in it, and a good friend of mine that I worked with at Pizza Hut way back when was opening a gym and was working out of this little like basement boutique type thing, and was also a firefighter at the time. Shout out to Neil at Trench Fitness if you're out there.
He's out there. The truth is out there.
Yeah. So he actually gave me my start. The first time I ever trained people, it was, I think, like 8 to 12. 35 to 40-year-old women, and I was terrified.
Yeah. Oh, you do like strength classes where you said 8 to 12? Yeah.
So it was like we'd have one person front squatting and one person doing step ups, and
cool.
And it was like a room this size, with a bunch of people crammed into it, and it was,
How long you'd been lifting before that, or like what was the taste into lifting weights at all? So, about those that don't know, Bryce is very strong. Pulls repeatedly over 800 pounds all the time.
No problem.
Every
There's
day.
equip lifting, also raw lifting. Recently won for Canada the what is it called, CPU Nationals, and you'll be going to Worlds.
I will be at Worlds in my my adopted hometown of Calgary.
And also what's cool is you've been told by other people in the industry or other people that powerlift, some people have called you the sexiest sumo puller for your technique.
Really?
Really
It's good.
clean. Yeah.
It's good.
Well, Candino gave you a shout out in one of his videos saying he said you, Yuri Belkin, and I forget who else
I was
he
going to
named.
put my list in.
Oh, we'll give your list, but he put you in for
That's good company to be in.
Yeah, he said a real
Belkin's
smooth-
a real nice puller.
Yeah.
Real nice.
Real
Real
nice.
nice.
Oh, real nice. Hey, you see the way he pulls on that bar?
Yeah.
Yanks on the bar.
Yeah. Well, hey, we
I
speak.
don't know. Wasn't it you that?
You
it was one of
can't
my
yank.
one of my favorite sayings of all time. I actually tried to put that into a recent presentation. So we had a I put that in at the end of my PowerPoint presentation at the CPU Nationals. We did like an educational component. And I did a big detailed breakdown on the sumo deadlift, talked about anatomy, talked about biomechanics, did a practical demonstration, took some people up to the front of the class, and then ended it with that clip of yours where you say that conventional is fucking and sumo is making love.
Yeah.
And that's still to this date one of my
Appreciate it.
favorite distinctions between the two styles of deadlifting.
That was one of the very. Sometimes I think about things in my head, and then I say them when that was one thing that I literally just was screaming at one of my clients in the gym. Pikolsky, shout out, homie. And it was literally in the moment.
Yeah.
I made it up on the spot. And
No, I use that all the time. It
Luckily, I said
works.
it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I could have fucked that up a lot of ways.
Stutter over it and then
Yeah.
it has
Well,
no impact and
yeah.
just lost
No,
it.
because I
No,
did.
hold on. No. It was the other way around.
The backwards are like, it's like 69 and like,
You're like, oh,
it's like missionaries.
Conventional's like a gangbang. You're like, what? Camera just
There's a lot of people involved.
Yeah,
Somebody
front squat.
squatting your neck. I don't know.
I don't know
Front
what's
squats is bukkake.
So Bryce, but that's I'm joking with you, but we all basically I was a trainer for a long time. Mike was. We started our own businesses, like brick and mortar businesses. I joked when I said, "Why did you enter the world's worst industry?" But you know the statistic when it comes to trainers, right? Where I think they say within 3 years, 90% of people that are personal trainers will be out of that industry. And you know, there's a lot of factors in it. One, especially if you work at a big box gym that pays terrible.
Yeah.
You know, they'll charge someone $75 an hour to train with you, and then they'll pay you on average about 25% of that. So like maybe $20 an hour if you're lucky. They don't give you clients. You don't have steady hours. There's a lot of reasons why I would say working in the so-called fitness industry as a personal trainer might not seem lucrative for a career. To work a little bit, sure, but as a career, So what is the thing you're slanging pizzas? What was the thing that made you say, I want to get in on this industry?
I think just for the love of what I was doing, really. I just enjoyed teaching people how to lift and watching people lift and helping people lift, and it just seemed like a natural fit. I wasn't really, I mean, before that I worked in the tattoo and piercing industry. I worked as a body piercer for like 8 years.
Yeah. You want to do my nips?
No.
Oh. All right.
I think I've lost like all fine motor control.
Oh,
so I used to be very good at all that kind of stuff, and now my hands are just useless.
From lifting?
What happened? Break picture frames and stuff like that. Just a lack of practice.
Oh, really?
It's not. I didn't like get in any sort of tragic accident or anything like that.
I wonder
but
how,
just over time, it's like grip barbell hard.
Yeah.
It's no longer like, okay, nice, fine, delicate tasks.
Yeah, I don't know how true this is, but this is a rumor I remember hearing when I first got in the industry that bodybuilders, because of that loss of dexterity, would knit. Because it makes,
I think I've heard that
and
before.
it made sense to me because you would get a pump. You know, I'm 18, got my first pump, and then I'd be like, I can't do nothing. I'm so jacked.
Blood just goes away from your brain,
from straight to my biceps and my wiener.
Well, I think there was Greg Knuckles said something along the lines where recent research was showing about cognitive capabilities of long-term steroid use.
Okay. Are you calling Bryce out right on the podcast first thing?
Hey, how's it going?
Let's get right down to it.
No, but what he was saying is that when it comes to that potentially there might be some issues, and so motor learning, I am not past the point of believing that some people, bro theories, like if you're a bodybuilder, like maybe you notice certain things, like things just don't feel the way they used to be. So like knitting, it sounds out there, but I'm like, to work on your fine motor skills.
It's like anything else. I think it's part of the case for specificity in training.
Ooh,
like
my favorite word.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah,
right.
No, I do agree.
So if I don't like use clamps and tiny things to manipulate small pieces of jewelry and needles and that kind of stuff, then I'm not good at it anymore.
Yeah, it took
it's as simple as that.
Took a long time not playing video games, and I just got back to PlayStation. What do you want to
I'm just getting a lot of cues from
tongue ring?
I got to keep this mic closer to my face.
You're doing fantastic.
I thought you were saying he wants you to pierce his tongue or something. He's shoving down his throat.
Our tech guy, Nigel, in the back, I think he just wants you to put the mic closer to your mouth. Not for any audio reasons. It's purely for visual stimulation.
I'm just worried I'm going to be breathing into it.
Oh, it's all right. We'll edit it out later.
Heavily.
We'll edit it out later.
Don't worry, we all breathe heavily. You should hear us last night we were in our hotel room just sleeping. There's me like in the corner, like
tsunami.
Yeah,
I think I saw a picture that looked incredibly uncomfortable.
Well, we're out here hustling. We're looking for endorsements. We're looking for connections. We're growing our podcast. We're hustling hard, so we had to be economically efficient. We decided half of the trip we would be more frugal, and then during the last half we would ball out in this place. So
you came to the nice place.
This is a nice place.
Thank you, Bryce. We made sure we had you when it was a nice place. We had we felt terrible. We had Jen Thompson, who is amazing. She is so
absolutely
nice,
incredible.
Phenomenal person, and so she's podcasting in our hotel room with us, and it's just crammed to hell.
Yeah,
and we feel bad. Like the bathroom's right next to like her. It's super small. It doesn't look professional. And we're just like, Jen, we just want to say how much you've done for the community and for powerlifting. We highly respect you. And it just was hard to do. Where there's like a bed over there. There's like the bathroom right next to her.
Mike's dirty underwear.
Yeah, we started scheduling people before we had grabbed our place.
Yeah.
So we assumed that this in Airbnb would be open for 4 days.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. So I was like, hey, would love to have you on, Jen. She's like, yeah, Friday works great. Friday it is. And then we figured out we didn't get the Airbnb till Saturday. So
yeah, the city I think must just get pummeled with tourism. Like there's an extra like 150,000
or
people
more
here, something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
Hey, you want to hear something insane, and I want to then get back to some of that body piercing. Is the stat that Mike told me, and I wasn't even aware of this, is apparently, and this is true. I've heard. Who knows? But when it comes to human trafficking, Mike, what were you going to say?
I read somewhere that this event. This city's already high on the list of human trafficking.
Oh.
And then this event, because of the influx of people, there's like 5,000
sex slave workers is what Mike
That
read.
come
I
out
don't
this
know
weekend.
how he read that or what.
What are you reading?
Look, dude, I like Reddit. I like Pornhub. If there's a Pornhub
And then
Reddit.
sometimes things get mixed up, the wires get crossed.
So do the numbers, so is my brain, but something of that nature is going on here. Well, and then right before you show up, we get an Amber Alert text.
We
I'm
do.
like,
Yeah, I saw
okay.
that as I was walking
See?
you
across
guys
the
do.
street. I was like, I need to get inside.
Let me get inside.
Talk
Let me not
about
talk to strangers.
vlogging. We should just go hunt down Amber Alerts.
What?
Like fight crime. We could fight crime. It said like
This podcast took a turn.
It said, like,
It's now vigilante justice.
Yeah.
Mike and Oak.
Yeah.
Minus any capabilities.
No. You have
knowledge, or
to. You're
skills.
the muscle.
You're,
I'll talk your
the
shit.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do tomorrow, man. I don't know.
Oh,
I'll
like
talk the
lift and
shit. You
compete?
back me up.
Oh, that's my job. I'm the shit talker. Why do you think we brought Nigel along?
Yeah, two bruisers, two pieces of shit.
two big dogs.
Are you comfortable with this, Nigel?
More uncomfortable.
By the minute.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of which, let's go back to body piercings.
Speaking of discomfort.
But I think it's super cool because I noticed first when I discovered your channel, like the tattoos and then also your ear piercings.
My ear thingies.
Yeah, but what are they officially called though? The
Gauges,
Just earrings, I call them.
Just earrings,
Really,
yeah.
but gauge, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so gauge is actually a reference to the size.
Yeah, I was a
so when
4,
you first
bro.
start out, 4 gauge, 2 gauge, down to 0 gauge, whatever, and then
Yeah.
you start measuring in fractions of an inch. So I think I'm at 7/8 of an inch.
Okay.
But I don't even really know anymore. It's been a long time. They used to be much bigger.
Oh, really?
Really?
I'm sure I could find pictures, but they were like 1.25 inches.
Oh wow.
So they were just massive.
Like a barbell size.
Is that the barbell size?
I don't know.
That'd be so funny if you had the exact measurement of a barbell as your earring.
That is kind of
That'd
cool.
be your signature, bro.
That is kind of cool. Somebody's
And then
got
I'll
to do it
just
now.
chop some pieces of an Alico and up and just
and put it in.
wedge
No,
it.
no joke. That's kind of dope.
That's
if you chop the end of an Alico and shove that in, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah. All right.
Things to
done it.
consider.
All right, the gears are turning.
I was even looking at your shirt. I as well was a big fan of the tattoos and graffiti and the coloring of your gym.
Yeah.
Stands out. Like everyone has graffiti and everyone has a theme and this and that, but that in particular is very aesthetically pleasing without complimenting you. But the shirt is cool too, and I'm not a fan of any really lifting apparel because it's just overdone.
Yeah,
but it's cool that
absolutely.
you got. I think this is probably the first time I've ever seen. For those that are listening, it's a competition collar.
Yeah.
Because everyone does a barbell, everyone does a plate
Yeah.
or a dumbbell or a jacked guy. But I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, and we get a lot of times, like, my fiance was like, I don't think anybody's going to be able to tell what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
And
cool
I think,
too.
like,
That's
a lot
cool,
of
though.
people probably look at it and are like, what is it? Is it like an engineering company or
Yeah.
like, what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are those people that are like, I power lift and I know what a competition collar looks like.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, man.
Yeah,
I
you don't
get you,
don't
man.
need the random mom to understand. Yeah, whatever.
It's not about trying to cast a large, wide net. It's about trying to find your niche and then
deep
speaking to
net.
them a deep net.
Yeah.
Where you know your people, and sometimes
Not
being-
a wide net, a deep net.
a deep net, the deep web. And sometimes I do think speaking just to your audience, where it's insular, can be far more beneficial.
what?
Insular.
Look, some of us
Insular.
dropped out of college.
Insular.
What the hell does that mean?
It means like you keep within yourself, and so like
Oh.
within a community, like a powerlifting community, if let's say there wasn't a lot of exposure to mainstream, which is kind of true, it's relatively insular. I'd
Yeah.
say there are other communities that are far more, but the idea you have, as you said, a collar as your design. I know what it is. Mike knows what it is. Anyone that really lifts or does any powerlifting knows what it is.
it's cool.
Right,
And so
yeah.
it has higher meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, like, we also have the equipped, bruised, and tired
I
shirt.
love that. I told you that. When
And
you,
that was really fun to do.
What was
Yeah, it was-
first for you? Raw lifting, geared stuff.
No, I lifted raw for a long time to start off with, before I ever got into the equipment. And then it was at, we do in Alberta, like in our province in Canada, we do a coaching summit every year. And we had Bryce Lewis and Mike Tashir out to it last year, which was awesome, except for the fact that I had to present immediately after one of the two of them. I can't remember which, but I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm just don't listen to me. I'm going to go home now.
Mike Tashir's like talking about like bar velocity, and Bryce Lewis is talking about like 300 different statistics, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. I forget where I was going with that now.
Geared
Oh
lifting.
yeah.
lifting.
So one of the guys who's been on the executive on our powerlifting union for a while in Alberta did a presentation on equipped lifting and brought his wife in and stuffed her into a suit. And then I was watching Blaine Sumner do a lot of equipped stuff at the same time and was thinking that it might be cool to try it out.
So it's real recent.
Within maybe 2 years.
Yeah,
I did my first equip meet November 2 years ago.
Yeah, because I think I saw that, and I thought it was you getting back into gear, maybe.
No, that was my first.
I'm not one for
first
reading.
Experimenting with.
I watch your stuff. I don't read much captions.
That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair.
I haven't done a lot of learning. I was going to say, I first heard, I think, about your channel via Brandon Campbell. And it's funny where sometimes in the industry, I think we look for something that other people on the outside might not. Like they look for sexy titles or like dude with jack muscles or whatever. But immediately
That's
after.
what I'm looking for.
It's
always looking for those jack muscles.
And so Brandon shouted out your channel. And immediately when I saw something that struck me and talking a little bit about art or like creating like body piercing, tattoos, or even the graffiti in your gym, is that there was a specific direction with your channel in terms of the content style, the look and feel. And immediately the first thing I thought was, holy shit, this would take a lot of time to film and edit. Was honestly the first thing that crossed my mind. Like this is high production. You're basically bringing like TV quality production, like a good TV show production, to YouTube, which is just different. Is that something inherent within you? Anything that you try and do a good job, or do you think that that's what's going to give me a differential advantage to stand out? Like, what went on in your mind?
So I'll do my best to speak to this, but the guy that films and edits everything is Dylan. It's definitely not me. I can't take any credit for filming or editing anything. But when I do all the filming and editing, what's going through my mind is no. So yeah, that was one of the things. Was we really wanted to try to create something like we saw a bit of a hole in the market, right? So there's a lot of really good channels with entertainment value. There's a lot of really good channels with educational value. There's channels that have both, and then there's channels that have, like an international level lifter doing his thing. But a lot of times, like, not all of those are tied in. So what we tried to do was come up with really good information that was somewhat entertaining to watch and follow the progress of somebody who's, making his way through the sport in whatever capacity that was. And I compete at a world level semi-regularly. So I think a number of those things, like being able to tie those things together, I think was just, it seemed like a natural thing to try to create something that would fill that gap in the market, I guess, if you want to call it that. I didn't even really know that YouTube was a thing until Dylan.
So when did you discover YouTube being a thing?
He was like, okay, well, we should do these videos and stuff. And I was like, okay, but why?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, people make money off of YouTube, right? And I was like, what?
You're like, I'm going back to Pizza Hut, bro. Like, forget
Did you, dude, I'm driving delivery. That was fun as shit.
You were driving delivery?
Yeah.
I got to hear about that.
Did you watch any of it or know of anybody or anything?
No, not until we started. And then he showed me. I mean, I knew you guys
from YouTube,
from Instagram. I think.
Okay,
more.
Fair.
Because I didn't really follow anybody or anything on YouTube. So yeah, and then I saw Jeff Nippert's stuff, and like Max Tuning and some of those guys that do the more vlog style stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow, like there's a lot going on YouTube that I had no idea even existed.
Sure.
So at that point we were like, okay, well let's try to make something happen.
Yeah.
And we started filming semi-regularly. And then it wasn't long, like it was maybe 6 months in, and first it was Tim Thibodeau gave us a shout out.
Oh.
And I think that was how Brandon Campbell found it.
Okay.
And then he gave us a shout out, and I think that was how you kind of came across it. So it's just been kind of, I don't know. I feel like we're doing something right if people are noticing and appreciating it.
Yeah, you definitely are, and this is the last time I'm going to compliment you because we don't want to blow smoke. But because your channel is smaller, you've been lifting for a while and smashing weights for a good time, but the YouTube in general, so you're a little bit lesser known. There's two channels that I've ever said this that aren't getting the views or the appreciation that they deserve.
Yeah.
And one is Will Smith. I started watching Will Smith.
Really?
A little known actor known as Will Smith.
Never heard of her.
A month ago, he already had like 10 vlogs up. She's hot. That's one of her main attractions. A month ago,
There's that Amber Alert.
Yeah.
That's a Volkswagen. Guys, I'll be right back.
Bring the camera, Nigel. Let's go.
IRL. Will Smith, my favorite actress, had 10 vlogs up in a month or so, and only 100,000 subscribers. And they're all actually good vlogs. And then you're number 2 to Will Smith. Sorry, buddy.
Wow. I'm okay with that. Like I really can't complain about that.
I was just gonna say, what happens with a guy like Will Smith though? Because he's so big, inevitably he will gain traction.
Of course.
Whereas, let's go back to Calgary Barbell for a second.
Never heard of her.
I have to say, never heard of her.
She's my second favorite actress.
She can tug
Only
on
kind of hot though.
Yeah,
she can tug on a lot of weight.
Yeah,
Let
she
me
knows
just
how
tell
to
you
hold a
something, all right? Yeah, she knows how to pull. It actually kills me, and I'm just going to say this publicly because you made, as far as I'm concerned, the best sumo deadlift tutorial in the history of tutorials. You did it for my channel. Dude, you knocked it out of the park. And I tried like an intro, outro. I tried to give like a good thumbnail to like get exposure.
Yeah.
And it ended up performing just on an average video. You know, it ended up performing just like any other video. And that kills me that on YouTube, there's not a way. And I think that's what informs how we produce content as content creators where, you know, videos aren't archived. Like people ask me, why do you create a video that's similar as like 2 years ago? It's like, well, no one's watching that video from 2 years ago.
You really got to dig back to find that stuff, right?
Yeah, and so for you, like I wish there's a way, and I thought about this before, like a super like when it comes to some content. Maybe you, as an account user, you can only give one super like a day, something cool like that.
Yeah.
But just to differentiate for those that might see, you know, just a whole bunch of videos. They see 100 videos just on their feed. Oh, this one has a lot of super likes. Let me check this out. Some way of discerning the really good content from everything else because
it's an interesting idea.
Well, the video just performed. I've filmed some crap videos, you know. I ain't too proud to say that, but it, you know, it's true. And some videos and just a good thumbnail and a title and boom, even the likes and all that stuff. So it's interesting to me, social media. You're doing something right when your peers notice you and then give you the shout out, which kind of gives you the leg up to get more exposure.
Yeah.
But as is often the case, timing, a lot of outside factors that don't have to do with the quality of your content. It's kind of like that tortured artist or that indie band where like, oh, they should just make it. Yeah. Where there's a lot more than just.
But then he's gonna make it sell out and forget both of us.
I can't wait. You're gonna be you're gonna be just like flipping pizzas, bro, like with your own chain, like something like artisanal, something to do with body piercing, like. Maybe you'll do like something where
deliver a pizza, pierce your nipple, and then do a deadlift for you. It costs like $1 million.
Yeah, I'll pay a little bit. I'll pay a little bit.
I was thinking more like a body piercing or a tattoo place, but on the side, like you split it because I know, like obviously body piercing, like there's like blood involved, this and that, sanitation.
Right.
But you guys like a pizza's being made while you're getting your ear pierced,
and then feeding it to you.
While you get tattooed, maybe
that's what I mean. Because my arms get tatted. My arms getting inked up. I think the cool kids say.
Yeah.
Inked up and tatted. One of my favorite songs.
Getting ink slinged.
Yeah, all that. And so then Omar's there in a really cute outfit, feeding me pizza.
Wow, that sounds definitely like a fantasy.
Sounds like my dream last night.
You said, Bryce, you said to me that you were delivering pizzas for Pizza Hut, and you said it was awesome. Tell me why. That's such a Canadian. It's like, yeah, I used to deliver the paper, and it was a good time.
Yeah, we'll turn this into an interview. How was that awesome?
I don't know. I guess it was awesome in its own way. I just drove around all night. You know,
I can see why you became a personal trainer because you're like, if you think that's awesome, I'm sure you thought like
hanging out at the gym's way cooler than driving my car all night. Let's do this.
Getting shitty tips and people yelling at me because their pie's cold.
Yeah, it's awesome.
See, the other thing was I was in Saskatchewan. This was when I was living in Regina.
Yeah.
And,
what?
You said that before. Every time, bro.
All right, dude.
It's not that weird.
It's pretty weird.
Really, like every band ever that comes to Regina is like, "What's up? You know your city's name rhymes with fun, right?" And it's like, "Oh, dude, we never heard that before. Thank you."
We have a place in Sacramento called Old Sacramento, and so we call it every comedian, dude.
Okay.
Like, guess where I went?
Someone after that joke should just say, "Shut the fuck up and get off."
Heard it, loser. Old Sacs right down the street from Regina.
So you said Saskatchewan,
and
slanging pizza.
Oh, I said Regina.
Regina.
Yeah, let's say Saskatchewan. Can we say Saskatchewan?
So okay. So I was living in Saskatchewan.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of snow there in the winters. So the best thing ever was these snowstorms would come, and I'd load up the back of the car with like 10 pizzas, and you can only drive 30 kilometers an hour because there's snow drifts 3-4 feet high. And then you just kind of putz around and you eventually get to places and the pizza's an hour and a half late. And people are like, "Oh, God, thank you so much for coming." Like, your pizza's almost frozen. And they're like, "I don't even care. Thank you so much. I didn't have to go out. Here's $20 tip." And it was just great. You kind of like putz around in the snow. And
Just chilling. What was the music of choice? Because obviously you're blurring the radio, I can assume.
No, I was listening to my compact discs at the time.
Oh, no. How
believe it or not.
Bryce, how old are you, if you don't mind asking?
I'm 30.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But compact disc. How old were you when you're delivering pizza? Because I'm trying to think.
So here's another interesting tidbit: is until like 2 months ago, I've never owned a vehicle that was created in this century.
Yeah,
really.
So, well, I was just gonna say, me neither, really.
Yeah.
Up until this current car, did I not have like an auxiliary cord? That's not that new.
Yeah,
to have it in a car.
I drove a 1997 Toyota Paseo.
Hell yeah.
For a number of years, and I just had my little compact disc player in there. I listened to I don't know, Bleeding Through, Cradle of Filth, a lot of like metal and hardcore stuff at the time.
I'm gonna name the only metal band
as well as
I know.
Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh yeah, I can say
favorite
Whitechapel.
Yeah, I was
you
gonna say
Queens of the
Whitechapel.
Stone
I
Age?
like Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah, they're all right.
I like
Dave Grohl.
I like Dave.
I think it's all right.
Whitechapel's the only.
Queens of the Stone Age?
I like them.
Oh yeah. I guess Dave Grohl drummed for them for a while.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then,
I was like, man, you're thinking Foo Fighters.
Yeah, them too.
Yeah.
Or Nirvana.
My thing, I'm hip. I got it. I'm having this mental image of you, Bryce, like putzing around his head in your car, like 20 miles an hour, super slow, listening to like a really fast song.
Yeah,
but just
that
like
was
for like
life.
an hour and a half.
Yeah,
It's like
going nowhere.
whistling, like life can't get any better. Yeah, having a good time.
Yeah.
What was the motivation for you then to get into trying to be a tattoo artist? Because I think that's really cool. I think that's a creative outlet and maybe a theme that I see in a lot of your work. And you said, give Dylan, you son of a bitch, some credit for the editing. But even the graffiti in your gym,
it's cool.
it's just different. You know, it has a different feel.
I like the colors.
Yeah.
So were you always, Mike always describes himself as an artsy kid or like a creative.
Yeah.
Did you always see yourself that way? Or like,
Yeah,
what is it?
definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that led to like the weird career choices that I've made along the ways. I never really thought like, oh, how am I gonna make a whole bunch of money when I grow up? It was like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
And that was just kind of what guided my decision making. And when I was, 16, 17, 18, I really wanted to get my ears pierced, and then I got my ears pierced, and I really wanted to stretch the holes in my ears out, which sounds super weird and is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Do you do it yourself?
Over time.
I did it myself too because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And you wake up and your pillow's bloody. I'm like, well, that's
you
weird.
probably did it a little fast then, Mike.
Oh, I'm sure. I had no idea what I was
Fast
doing.
and
Yeah.
loose.
So you just get the little horn-looking one. I just went.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the idea is you wait long enough that when you put the bigger size in, or you put with like the taper, it's called. So it's smaller on one side and larger on the other. And it's, a relatively painless procedure, but you have to wait like 3 months between sizes and then really take your time. Once you get to the bigger ones, you start wrapping Teflon tape around, and you do one layer a day or one layer every 2 or 3 days, and then gradually over time, the earring becomes the next size, and then you swap it out to the next earring.
That makes sense. Yeah, see, I didn't do any research. I'm an idiot, and so I just started plugging those little horns in.
And that was the
every
thing,
once in a
I got involved with the industry right away.
Cool.
And started like getting interested in the process and how it was all done, and different things that you could pierce for a while.
Whoa.
That's a whole other story.
Hey, well, no, let's get right into it, bro. Well, you said...
was this before or after pizza? Let's get a timeline.
After.
Okay, so pizza's late teens.
Oh wait, no, sorry. This was before and during pizza.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I
supplement.
I drove delivery to supplement
Absolutely.
my body piercing.
So teens and early 20s?
Late teens, early
Cool.
20s.
Yeah.
And I know, like, this is gonna sound like a silly statistic, but I know quite a few girls that have gotten their nipples pierced, and that's like, and to some that might seem out there, but what is like the weirdest or most uncommon piercing that people would be surprised about? Obviously, like that you've done or that maybe gets requested. Was it at a shop also too, or was it independent?
No, it was definitely always at a shop.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll come to your door and I'll pierce your dick.
Yeah, hey, come to my bathroom. So right before I kind of like got out of the industry, there was this single point dermal, I think it was called, or single point piercing.
Yeah.
So essentially, what you'd do is you'd take what's called a dermal punch, which is like a little apple corer.
Oh.
You'd core out a little piece of the skin and then put in this thing which had a foot and then a post coming out, and then the jewelry would screw into the post.
Right.
And you would core out a little piece of the skin and like kind of pop this thing in there, and it would be just a single point
Have you
piercing.
seen it,
I
Omar?
had one like
I
a
think so.
teardrop for a while.
Yeah.
And I did like some on a girl's low back once, and
Yeah.
that was becoming a really popular thing. And I thought it was really cool at the time. And there were also surface piercings, so it was like a staple shape.
Yeah.
And I had one of those on like the back of my wrist for a while, and just people getting weird and creative.
Yeah.
The one that I saw on Instagram that someone does, and I don't know if this would classify as piercing or in that category, but someone splits people's tongues to have that. What do they call bifurcation or something that's called of the tongue? Yeah,
very very good vocabulary.
I mean, hey, done me some book learning thanks to the Canadian education system.
Yeah, there you
Gotta
go.
give a shout out.
There you go.
Yeah. Post-secondary education is pretty cheap. Yeah. Honestly, compared to the States.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the cost of post-secondary education.
No
in
one can
America.
afford it, and everyone has loans.
And that there's a lot of kids missing in Columbus, Ohio. I was like, do you find a difference? So for me, like Nigel, also he's also Canadian from Toronto,
right?
And so we see certain differences. Like maybe Mike comes up to Toronto, he sees differences. When you visit America, do you see any differences, or you're like, this is just like Calgary?
I mean, I guess maybe right now,
Yeah.
here downtown Columbus, Ohio, during the Arnold is not the greatest or easiest time to make comparisons.
Yeah.
Just because of the sheer volume of people, which is still just astounding me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I walked through the Arnold venue for about 11 minutes. Saw the back of Ryan Stinn, one of our powerlifters from Canada. Saw the back of his head at the front of the crowd, and the powerlifting was like, oh, thank God. It's just like somebody I know.
Human, yeah.
Yeah.
A
So
human
I
in
went
the
and
sea,
sat
of
with him and his wife for a while, but I guess I don't really notice a huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I notice people's accents a lot, and I bet like people notice my accent.
What do
If
they
I-
sound
if
like?
I have an accent, I don't know.
What do they sound like to you?
So I was in North Carolina last night.
Oh,
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah. So there was a lot of very heavy accent there.
Draw.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, like maybe I don't notice the average person's accent, but more like the heavier Southern accent.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
take notice of, and more Pop-Tart flavors.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
pretty unhealthy. What cities have you spent some time?
So we go to Whitefish in Montana every year.
No idea. Every city in Montana is small, and Whitefish sounds extra small.
Yeah, Whitefish is pretty small.
But I hear Montana's insanely beautiful.
Yeah, so my fiance and her family, we go down there every winter to do some snowboarding and
Cool.
stuff. We spend like a week down there or so snowboarding. I think I did Disneyland when I was really young.
Yeah, LA.
And
That's a melting pot.
I really haven't
cool.
haven't been around all that
Yeah,
much.
because there's not that many accents, and then they all start to be the same, right? There's Boston's pretty like, hey, fuck, dude, and then there's New York, and then everything kind
What's New York, Mike?
I feel like every time I try to do a New York accent,
Yeah.
it turns into Boston.
Wait, Bryce, give me your New York accent.
It would literally just be exactly what Mike
that's
did
like,
for Boston there.
hey, fuck, dude, fucking Tom Brady, winning another fucking Super Bowl. You fucking kidding me?
So that's Boston, gotcha.
Yeah, it takes me a second. I have to come to it later.
Okay, yeah, just when it's natural.
The
Yeah,
artist.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
When
when
you put
you-
him on the spot.
when you feel ready, yeah.
no.
And then you go triangle from those two places, and the rest of it is a mesh of both. Like Wisconsin, where we are now, Chicago, those areas are those two accents like meshed. Why I can't do it? Here's a silly game I played in 4th grade. I forgot, but I think it's like sing the James Bond thing, sing the Indiana Jones thing, and then sing some other thing.
Oh, and they all start sounding the
Yeah,
same.
or you can't do it because
yeah.
you're like, oh shit.
Like you just get one stuck in your head and the rest won't come to you anymore.
That's why I
And
can't
then-
do New York.
And they start getting pulled like one sound. It's like almost like broken telephone where it
Yeah.
just gets completely distorted.
I can do a really bad Christopher Walken if you want that.
No, you've done it off camera. And,
My guy. Why are you looking at my guy all wrong? Shout out to my boy Dan who can actually crush it. I'll go back to like
I'll
episode
give you
2.
credit, Mike. You got that full body where
yeah,
no,
there was
actually-
a lot of animation there.
That's because like if you do a Robert De Niro or something, it's 80% what you do and 10% or 20%. I'm not good at math either.
Yeah,
What you sound
we
like.
went to 90% there, which is good.
yeah, 10% is just that it factor.
I got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
He's literally having an epileptic seizure. Like, what's happening?
Pretty damn good, actually.
For those on the video, yeah, it's
Go to our YouTube, check it out. It's worth a while.
It's
It was
worth it
interesting.
just for that.
Just for
Skip
that
to-
impression.
You guys should put the timestamp for the De Niro impression in the description. Yeah.
38.25.
ignore the interview, go straight to that impression.
Yeah.
What was the main thing? Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not that familiar with the tattoo or piercing world. You normally choose kind of one, maybe you do both. But
Right.
did you do like tattooing also?
I did no tattooing.
Okay, so mostly piercings
Yeah,
and things. But
I
it's
think
in the same
biggest
shop.
restriction. Yeah,
Yeah.
the biggest restriction there is that I have zero artistic talent
Fair.
with drawing.
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Well, hold on. Did you draw growing up, or did you practice drawing growing up?
No.
Or no? Oh, yeah.
No,
Okay.
I didn't even really draw much as a kid.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, so that's just time, dude. I wouldn't knock yourself.
Yeah, you don't know. Maybe Oregon.
maybe.
I spent 12 years in art school, and I can't draw. I can say I can't draw.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I put hours into it, and I feel
I guess if you know.
Yeah. I'm just saying, Bryce, it's like you going up to like, deadlift 500 pounds and you've been training for like 2 months. You're like, wow, this is hard. I guess I'm not going to be good at deadlift.
Yeah, interesting story, actually. My brother did exactly that, and I think just recently pulled like 550.
Really?
After, I don't know, 3 months of
just
training.
getting into it?
He's like, hey, man, I think I'm going to start doing some lifting. I'm like, here's a couple programs, and coached him for 3 months or whatever. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I pulled 500 for 3 the other day. Oh. And I was like, oh, so I guess it's just like, it's really in our blood.
Yeah. Well, that's what Jen Thompson said. She didn't ever deadlift, ever. Bench, squat, and training. Deadlifted at her, learned the night before her first meet ever and pulled 315. And she's like, but I was lifting. I was like, I don't give a fuck. You never actually deadlifted.
Yeah,
and then you pulled 315. That's more than my.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's probably within the first 6 months of me deadlifting.
Yeah.
Was something in the back of your head when you heard your brother when he said, yeah, like I pulled like after 3 months 550. I think I'm going to keep it up. You're like, please don't. Like, this is my thing. Don't. You ever had that happen with your brother? Where actually my brother started music at first, but he's like a prodigy. Where he's just like he's insanely talented. He has absolute pitch, like perfect pitch, and he has insane rhythm, like all the components to be a good musician.
Yeah.
But we started around the same time, and so it's kind of like the Della thing. You're like, please don't. Like,
yeah, no, actually, my brother and I did the same thing. Like, I used to play in bands, and I played guitar for a while.
Okay.
And I taught him how to play One by Metallica. It was the first song I ever taught him. And then, fast forward 2 years, and he's like actually learning theory and putting the work in and practicing. He toured with a bunch of bands all over North America.
Oh, that's right on, man.
And still to this day, like, plays and makes kick-ass music all the time. So
that's amazing, dude.
Yeah, it was one of those things where at the time, I think I was like, oh, damn, he's better than me. But now it's like, oh, sweet, I'll go to his shows, and it's a blast.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to lift this barbell.
Yeah, I'm going to go lift something. So. Yeah. But yeah, that's the other thing is like now both my younger brothers are into lifting, so when I go home or we're all in the same place at the same time, we'll go to the gym together, which is awesome to be able to share that, with my brothers, because it's I don't know, it's my life at this point, so it's cool to like have them be a part of that.
Are you still doing a lot of one-on-one training, or are you still just you own a gym?
I don't actually.
Oh, you
I don't own the gym.
Barbell?
I own Calgary Barbell. So here's the thing.
Well, it's inside a gym or something.
So this guy Andrew Bollinger and I started this space together, and he took on the lease, and he was the gym owner. And I said, I'll run my company out of there, and I'll pay you rent per use to help you, upkeep the place and give you enough funds to run it, etc. And he had a lot of other stuff. He works as I think if I'm saying this right, his title is a biomechanical systems engineer.
Oh, wow.
So he developed the software to run a key fob system to get people in and out of the door. Yep. And he deals with the membership and the fees and all that kind of stuff. And then I run my company and have out of his business since it was like the size of a small garage.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then when we grew into the new space, he let me put my big logo up on the wall.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, Calgary Barbell is a lot more visible in social media and marketing wise. So it's kind of a really good mutually beneficial arrangement. But the gym is the Strength Edge. I don't own it. But I do operate Calgary Barbell out of his facility, and I am the owner of Calgary Barbell.
Which is very, very common in powerlifting. There's very few powerlifting gyms. I literally say it's Barbell Brigade.
Yeah. Well, and we're
very excuse me.
No, because that's like weightlifting and a bunch of strength and conditioning. And so is Barbell Brigade. There's a turf, but like there's none. Most of them,
big contingent strongman too at our gym, and that was Andrew's whole background, and that was his part of the community that he brought to it. Was strongman, and now I think we have a few people at least up here spectating anyways.
Cool.
And they're doing like mass wrestling and stuff. Have you guys seen
that?
Yeah,
thanks.
I did that with Alan.
Alan Thrall. Mass wrestling.
Yeah, Alan had some training, did it for a bit, and then I wrestled him. Like we did like 2 times, and I lost both times.
Bye to my bicep. I'm good.
Oh man, I broke a guy doing it actually by accident.
We're definitely chasing down Amber Alert.
Listen here, Ivan Drago. You're like, I broke him.
I will break you in Regina.
No, this was in Calgary.
Oh, all right.
Come on, man. Stay hip. It's called Calgary Barbell. What did
Dude, Regina Barbell, way better.
I thought you were gonna say something. What is the dude's last name? Boldinger?
Bollinger.
Baldinger.
Andrew Baldinger. I'll introduce you.
What'd you say to me earlier? Nips to knees?
Knees to knees, baby.
You said a few things that are just like super Canadian.
America would say ass to grass. He says nips to knees.
No, it's a difference. We're like, ass to grass is just squatting deep. Nips to knees is like Lane Norton. You just fold in half and
all right.
Pray
something good
You just
happens.
named my entire lifting career.
the shade going on from Bryce here.
No.
Yeah.
It's all in good fun.
It's all with good love.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, was that a conscious choice on your part when you did Calgary Barbell, your YouTube channel, that you wanted the brand to succeed, or is it also just because, and I could kind of relate to this, like my name's not easy for a lot of people to pronounce. I kind of anglicize it like Esaf. Yours, a Krawczyk. Am I saying that correctly?
There's probably a couple different ways to say it.
Yeah.
The easiest way to say it is Krawczyk.
Krawczyk.
Yeah.
And what do you say?
Well, if you wanted to say it like in its proper
From Regina.
pronunciation,
The Reginese.
the Reginese way.
It's Polish or?
It's Ukrainian.
Ukrainian.
Yeah.
Ukrainian. I knew there was a reason for that.
Ukraina.
Yeah.
But it'd be pronounced Krawczyk.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and that's why you sumo deadlift well. And that podcast is over.
See you guys next time.
Mystery solved.
We're all wondering this.
I'll show myself out.
Yeah. All right. It's a real life Ivan Drago who breaks people.
I broke him. Mass wrestling.
So was that conscious on your part then, dude, when you said, like branding? Because again, looking at the name, you'll say it often, and that's why like I kind of have somewhat of an idea how to say it.
Yeah.
But it's not an easy name to spell or brand. So is that why you went with Calgary Barbell for everything? Or
honestly, it was a split-second decision for a school project.
Yeah.
And my teacher handed me back my strength training assignment and was like, "There's no branding on this." I was like, "Are you kidding me? Did you even look at this program? It's perfect." Like, just got so mad that she didn't like review my strength training program. She's
so
like,
you broke her too.
"You want to mass wrestle?" Then we mass wrestled. The rest is history.
And then you told her about her zip being down. XYZ bitch. Moss this Regina bitch.
Oh my god.
R.I.P. Mrs. Brown.
So I was super choked about this thing, and I was like, fine, whatever. I'll make something up really quick. And I was like, Calgary Barbell, sure. And handed it back in. And then shortly after that, I got tired of working at the box gym that I was at.
Yeah.
They were trying to kick me out. They were like, you can train people here, but we don't want you to lift here.
Was it lifting heavy or what? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I found some footage of myself back then. I would have kicked me out.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was just obnoxious. I was like, bleh, every rep, and it's like, man, you don't need to be like that.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Put out the vibe here.
Like, settle down.
My favorite, there's actually a guy, I'm not talking to the dudes older, but Sean,
No, you're talking shit.
So Sean's open and accepting. He's the man that owns Fortis Fitness.
Okay.
But there's a guy that he's in his either 50s or 60s. And when you're young and obnoxious and you lift weight, you want to start grunting to attract attention. Cool, I get it.
Yeah.
But what happens? It's like a story. You got to let it unfold slowly. So first rep, you just, second rep, there's the, and then progressively as the weight gets heavier.
So you need some foreplay to your grunting, is what you're saying.
Before you go all the way in. So last rep, you're like, ugh, right?
Yeah.
He from rep 1 is at that RP 10, and the weight's moving light.
Yeah.
And he's like, ugh, like that on the first
You
rep.
know who else yells like that?
Who?
At least in some of her training videos, Isabella von Weissenberg.
Okay.
Do you know who she is?
just squatted 200 kilos and smashed.
She is an unbelievably awesome lifter and a very nice person, actually.
Yeah.
I met her in Texas.
How's her English?
Excellent.
Oh, really?
Impeccable.
Oh, maybe we'll chat with her.
Really, really good.
Maybe we'll chat with her.
Like, because Selena, my fiance, is just like obsessed, like thinks she's the coolest person ever. And I mean, everybody does, but
Yeah, she's a stud.
so Selena was super nervous to go over and say hi. So I like flagged her down. I was like, here, introduce yourself and whatever. And she's like, oh, how's your lifting? Like, are you ever going to compete? And or like, are you going to compete at Worlds or whatever? And Selena's like, no, I do like some local meets and that's cool. But so she was great. But I watched a training video once of her. And I think she was benching and she did a set of 8 and every rep was just like,
I think I know.
and I was like, holy cow. Yeah.
Yeah,
and like
does-
every rep.
Yeah, every rep.
But it's clearly working for her.
Maybe I'll start too.
Yeah, maybe I need to grunt more.
We skipped a big story. You broke someone in mass wrestling.
I know that. You're so funny. I'll tell you how
Yeah, you
Ivan Drago here.
Yeah.
So, we were doing an exhibition.
Mass wrestling for the people. Give them a little definition.
Okay,
before,
it's basically a board set up that 2 people put their feet on, one person on either side, and then they both grab a stick and wrestle over it. Like you just pull.
Yeah.
It's like a super round back deadlift against another dude.
Yeah, tug of war with a 2x4.
Yeah. And for the longest time, like I have some issues with my low back and my hip, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. We did a little lifting to exhibition. We did a deadlift competition later that day, and I don't know if you saw that video of me with the cowboy hat and the sleeveless flannel.
Oh, that was that day.
That was that day.
Okay, yeah. We pulled once again. It was like 800. Like it was.
I think that was like 830.
Was that a deadlift bar?
It was a deadlift.
Okay, so he hasn't pulled it. Continue.
Sumo and
But with a cowboy hat and a getup.
Right.
So
yeah.
Cool.
So that,
you're coming into my league now, buddy.
We call that gear lifting around here.
Yeah. Anyways, they talked me into trying it, and it was a guy who was supposed to be like going to Russia right away to compete in a big Moss wrestling thing, and he's like, oh yeah, I need a couple of warm-up rounds.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like fine, I'll do it. And the first round, he beat me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, and I have no endurance. So if he gets into a position where we're like fighting back and forth for a while, I knew it wasn't going to go well. So I was like, all right, I'm going to set my feet a little bit wider.
There we go.
Just like
Sumo
set my back and literally just hauled on it and like pulled the guy over, and I think like tore his hamstring.
No.
Yeah.
There goes his world championship. You're a dick.
So yeah, I felt really bad because he's a super nice guy and was like, yeah, I should do like a little bit of a warm up thing. And I was like, oh, I'm the worst kind of person.
Are you pretty competitive?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, after you beat you the
I
first
feel like
time,
not outside of competition, but in competition,
it comes alive.
Yeah, I have a very different mindset. Like on the day I'm competing, is very much like
some of those Moss wrestlers are sketch because if it's like you and I, like, hey, let's sumo stance and just pull straight, but they're going like a pit bull, like cranking to the right real quick. That's why I'm scared. Like shoulder, bicep, labrum, hip.
All I can see is my spine just getting messed up in so many different directions.
And it's strong guys.
Yeah,
strong guys.
Yeah, I was just thinking with that Moss wrestling, like the first time after you lost, you're like, that's it! Like, you're just like, let's crank on this guy, and just like broke him.
I was like, okay, well, I don't want to lose, and I'm not going to, I don't want to like end up wrestling with this guy forever, so it comes down to grip strength. And so I guess I just, didn't end well.
Just fucking crushed his life and his career.
No, I think he's back at it now. I think he's okay now.
Yeah, you just made that up. He's no longer.
I don't really know, but
he's no longer pitching blood.
I hope he's okay.
That's nice.
I hope he's okay. I'm sure he is.
I broke a guy.
Let me ask you this, buddy. What is coming up for you? Like, what's next? What are some of your plans, ambitions, goals, thoughts, dreams, actions?
Relax for a couple of weeks.
Cool. Yeah.
Like I said, Nationals was last weekend. Arnold deadlift is this weekend. Probably just kind of deload for a couple of weeks and then start getting ready for Classic Worlds.
16-ish, maybe a little more weeks out then.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe 12, 14, 15, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And in terms of the channel, we got a lot of varied content that we want to do. We got a couple like really funny videos, I think, that is just going to take some time to kind of put together.
Yeah.
That we haven't had because I've been traveling around and competing a lot lately and that kind of stuff. We got a bunch of I think really cool stuff coming down the pipes for the YouTube. We're doing another launch for some clothes, probably on Monday even.
Is that kind of the main gig for everything? Yeah, gym, YouTube, Calgary clothing. Yeah, very cool.
That's everything.
Very cool.
So between the little bit of like personal training type stuff that I do and the online coaching, and then the YouTube and apparel and just kind of like mash it all together.
Yeah, it sounds like nothing because some people have these huge list of things, but when you do those and you do them well, shit takes forever. Like that's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I mean that's
it's
the thing is we didn't want to do a whole lot of merchandise for a while there because we were just like it's too much.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know, like we just want to try to make more videos, good videos, like work on being a good athlete, and then we decided to start using like Printful.
Okay.
Where everything's like printed to order and drop shipped. So it's like, cool. Like if we can come up with some cool designs, it's no initial investment up front.
You don't have to buy 50 shirts and then design.
It makes it easy to like do some of that stuff on the side. It's not as profitable because of how you do it, but it allows us to kind of put out some cool stuff from time to time.
Yeah, and then you probably use your social media to evaluate like what like maybe do you test before and then launch or
a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we'll order samples which I guess kind of works twofold because we'll get the sample, we'll be able to tell if we like the shirt, we like the design, we like how it's done, etc. And then we can also, you know, post some pictures of it or wear it in a video and just like kind of see what people say if people are into that design or that colorway or whatever.
See that response.
Yeah, fairly calculated. Not trying to
ish.
Yeah, well, that's I think everybody goes. Well, as long
loosely calculated.
Yeah, but as long as you have some type of process set up. I forgot who was talking about it.
Oprah.
Maybe Oprah's really smart.
Yeah, check under your seat.
Yeah, she's my favorite actor.
What's my favorite actress?
Yeah, there's somebody. No joke, it wasn't Oprah, but it was somebody of some nature. I'm watching a video. You know, they just like it doesn't matter what it is, but have a process to everything. Yeah. Have a process how you set up your YouTube. Okay, I do title, then my thumbnail, then I release it, then I Instagram post it, then I Facebook it. Have a process because athletes talk about it. You know, I do my belt at 315, then I do my knee sleeves at 405 or something, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But if you have a process to every little thing, then obviously just like lifting, you're taking away some of these variables, and if something fucks up, you know where in this process.
And that's actually been kind of an interesting thing with Dylan and I. We're both very much on that like maybe left brain kind of creative side of things, and we're not the like super organized side of things. So it's been really tough and a lot of work for us to try to get things scheduled and follow through on all these ideas. Like we have so many cool ideas, but it's just a matter of trying to get them all done, get things organized, and get a timeline, and get like that's the real struggle. I think
you're looking at number one culprit across from you.
I am the same idea as Nigel would say too. I'm a creator for sure. Like even when I was telling you like I'm gonna bring you to Toronto, but some ideas that have like some Wayne's World like spoofs and like some Trailer Park Boys style stuff. I have just the ideas, but like the means to execute it, like the actual.
You need Nigel or somebody else.
I need someone heavy, otherwise it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, why is heavy?
I think why.
Did you say someone heavy?
Like heavy in the brain,
dude. That's rude. Nice.
Whoa,
does that mean slow?
Heavy, bro.
I think he's pretty quick.
Yeah. Swift and nimble. Okay, he's gonna be. Well, you're gonna be Ivan Krawczyk. Like Ivan Drago, if you're gonna be your superhero name. He's Captain Planet. You're Silencio Michael. I don't know what I'll be. You know, we just got to figure out the like superhero team name.
And then we're gonna go fight Amber Alert.
Yeah, then we're out to get on the radios and start listening to the cops call.
We need
the CB radios.
We get kidnapped and then we need to get saved. It gets really embarrassing.
Yeah, and we vlogged the whole thing.
But the police have to release the like footage publicly for like whatever. We're just crying. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, we should have edited it better.
Where can people find you, my man?
I am Calgary Barbell, literally everywhere. I'm on Instagram.
I am Calgary Barbell,
and I am everywhere. I will make you in Regina.
So yeah, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Calgary Barbell, everywhere. CalgaryBarbell.com. That's where we sell our stuff. Gonna have some programs and stuff up for sale before long. Redo the website, all that kind of stuff. But again, that's like with all these cool shit. You just got to do some stuff.
No, man.
You know?
I will shout you out and say that I think your channel, Calgary Barbell, is highly underrated. So for everyone listening, make sure to check out your channel. And we want to thank you, Bryce, for being on here. We can't wait to see you pull 900 pounds. It's gonna happen.
We'll see.
I believe. Mike, close this out, buddy.
I think I'm gonna pull 800, and I think you're gonna pull 900.
All right, let's do it
by the end of the day.
No.
Not today.
Today?
When it's all said and done.
Oh, okay.
That's an American
when the fat lady
nips and knees. Yeah. You know some
knees.
American shit. Ladies and gentlemen, please give us a subscription, rating, or review. It's highly appreciated. Really, truly supports this podcast. We appreciate you for listening. And if you want to, check out our merchandise at mamasboyspodcast.com. A little throwback. We're all 90s boys right here. Are you a mama's boy? You don't love your mom?
Okay, no, yeah, sure. Count me in.
He loves his mom. And last question too: pancakes or crepes?
Ooh, pancakes, man.
Yeah, fuck crepes.
You're part of the team.
Fuck crepes, you fucking internet.
And I didn't realize it was this heated.
Check out our Patreon. It should be in the description below or on our Instagram, SilentMichael2Ks, Omar Esoff. We appreciate you. We're out of here.